What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome into our live show. We got a lot to discuss. As first off, I think Vikings fans got some great news as Terrion Arnold called out the Vikings wide receiver core. So we'll dive into that, and then also just talk about this Lions game. I got a little bit of a preview for you guys. We'll dive into the whole thing here. But first off, if you guys want the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Detroit Lions, and not only win the NFC North, but get that number one seed in the NFC. Give me a SKOL down below in the comments section. We'll give you guys some shout-outs. Shout out to M. Mac in the building, Vikings Flock, Patrick Monson, Jay Fine saying, Lions talking smack already. Oh, yeah, Terrion Arnold, rookie corner, already talking noise about the Vikings wide receiver group. I don't know if it was pretty much or more of him talking noise or more of him having confidence in his own guys to go out there and play a good game this Sunday, but I promise you this. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jalen Nailor, it will be bulletin board material for them, and they will have that posted all across the locker room. So I'll share that quote with you guys here in a sec. But shout out to Pat Evans, Evan, Carl Moeller, the amazing chaser. Shout out to you, Leigh Hafner, saying SKOL brothers and sisters. Yeah, shout out to all the SKOL sisters out there. And then Mush AK in the building. Jay Fine saying we want that revenge. Jacob Dong saying SKOL. Brawl saying I'm happy and nervous, and that's a great spot to be, man. There's no better time to be a Vikings fan right now, and you know what we have, Sunday Night Football, Vikings in their all whites. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, the Vikings will be wearing white jerseys, white pants, purple helmets, and the Lions are going blackout everything. Apparently, every single seat in the stadium will have a black shirt on there, so the whole stadium is going to be blacked out, the whole field's going to be blacked out, and the Vikings are going to come in there in their all whites and hopefully make it happen. As also we do have the Georgia Notre Dame game on the background here. Is Notre Dame driving down the field. Love to see that. But shout out to Irv Moore saying the Lions run a lot of gadget plays. Vikes should be aware of that. And, you know, there's a lot of talk about Ben Johnson, Brian Flores, who's got the upper hand in this matchup. And, you know, obviously Ben Johnson's gotten the better of Brian Flores over the past couple of years. No doubt about it. No running from that. But also, the times that Flores has matched up with Ben Johnson, you know, he didn't have Blake Cashman in the first time this year. You know, the Vikings defense at the second half of last year was really, really beat up. Injury bug was all across the team. And, you know, I think this is the first time, like, Flores finally has his dogs with him. He's got his guys, and he's going to, you know, go right into that building. And I have full faith in this team. And, you know, I'm actually very confident in a win this weekend. I'm still shocked that the Lions are favored in this game. I get it. They're a wagon of a football team. They're a very, very good football team. But I think there's greatness within this Vikings locker room. I think there's greatness within this team. And, you know, I put out my score prediction of 34-20, and I'll stand by that. I think the Vikings are going to roll this Sunday and lock up that number one seed. But you guys let me know this. This Sunday, Vikings-Lions, who is the biggest X factor in this game? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Shout out to Patrick Nielsen in the chat as well. Brawl Smack in the building. Denham saying, will we be able to re-sign Bynum, Byron Murphy, and Sam Darnold? Well, you got the fourth most cap space heading into the next season. So, you know, financially it won't be an issue. And I think the Vikings need to re-sign all three of those guys. Obviously, Sam Darnold, you guys know why I want to bring him back. But Byron Murphy, he's a starter and the Pro Bowler. He has been awesome this season at the cornerback position. Cam Bynum, we can talk about his play on the field, which is fantastic, but talk about bringing in a guy and keeping a guy in this locker room who just keeps the vibes at an all-time high. I mean, he is choreographing all these dances. You know, he is – I think also when you have like a high-pressure game, you know, whatever it may be, and you have that guy, whether that's, you know, a coworker or, you know, a teammate of yours who is just all about vibes, all about bringing the energy, and plus he is one of the better players on your team, I think that matters because it keeps the team loose. And the Vikings last Sunday against the Packers, they played a very loose style of game. And I don't want to just say, hey, that's all on Cameron Bynum, but he definitely plays a factor into that. So all three of those guys, I think they need to re-sign, you know, all of them. But Jacob saying Jones and TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, TJ needs to have a big game against his former team. Linda saying keep Sam. Arpin8 saying Seeps. It's time to call the Bills and ask them for a secret recipe on how to stop the Lions. Well, I don't know if the Bills had the secret recipe on how to stop the Lions, considering Detroit put up 42 points on their head. But maybe they take a little page out of their offensive playbook. You know, they went up and put 45 points on the Lions team who, you know, yes, is beat up and, you know, they're injured on that back end specifically. But, they dropped 45 on their head. They outplayed them for the majority of that game. And, yeah, the score was 45-42, I believe. But Lions had a couple of garbage time touchdowns just to put some makeup on that game. Dakota saying, will the throw will be great this game. I saw a hilarious tweet out there. It was, I'm going to see if I can find this for you guys. But it was pretty much a Will Riker jersey on top, and it was a Ouija board on the bottom, and the caption was, I'm about to make this right. I thought it was hilarious. Whoever came up with that, considering Will Riker missed 2 kicks last weekend, I hate even talking about this right now, but the Vikings kicker curse that we have known very, very well. So hopefully Will the throw, rookie out of Bama. Hopefully he's able to knock down just a couple of kicks this weekend. But Bross Mack saying Barkley won't break Dickerson. Yeah, Barkley's going to sit this weekend. I think that's the right call for the Eagles. Xavier saying Vikings are the best. Shout out to you. Yeah, Brohian did that. Yeah, that was hilarious, SKOL TV. Awesome, awesome stuff. I was dying at that. That was hilarious. But shout out to Ant Hare coming in with Super Chat. We'll get that up on screen here in a sec. But Card Collector saying, what are we going to do with McCarthy if we keep Sam? I think we keep JJ. There's no issue on having one of the better backup quarterbacks in the National Football League. And I think the Vikings have all the leverage in this situation. They don't need to, ship JJ out the door just to, go take a flyer on a top 10 pick this season. They can keep him because, something can happen to Sam next season, knock on wood. But if he were to have to miss, let's just say 2 to 3 months, like having JJ to get in there and be that quarterback, like that's not a bad choice at all. But Denham saying sign Darnold to a 2-year, $60 million deal. Unfortunately, I don't think $30 million a year will get it done. But a 2-year, $100 million deal, sign me up for that. I would do that in a heartbeat. But Ant coming in saying SKOL from Minnesota Sports Group. Shout out to you guys over there. And Ant, appreciate you sending in the $2. If everybody could, give me a SKOL Ant down below. But also answer this for me. I thought it was hilarious. The Pro Bowl quarterbacks in the NFC and the AFC got released. And on the AFC side, first off, Patrick Mahomes wasn't in there. Honestly, the right call. But just statistically hasn't had the season compared to the 3 guys who made it, who were Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen were the 3 in the AFC. And then in the NFC, it was these 2 goofballs right here and Jaden Daniels. I think that's hilarious just seeing, the talent difference in each conference where you got probably the top 4 quarterbacks in the league in the AFC, and then it's a bunch of guys who have bounced around. I mean, Sam Darnold, he was shipped out of his team that drafted him. Same with Jared Goff. I mean, you think about his story. He went to a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, and they packaged 2 first-round picks on top of him to go get Matthew Stafford. And now both these guys are having career years. So, shout out to these guys. Hey, stay addicted to the process no matter what you do in life, and, good things will come. But Linda saying bye-bye Jones. Probably talking about Aaron Jones on that one. Yeah, I don't think the Vikes will bring him back, but I wish you would. But LeCameron giving me a 14, ACM giving me a 14, D Music giving me a 14, and Luke Johnson saying, do you think Sam would succeed anywhere else? I don't want to say, no to that because I think they'll be incredibly disrespectful to him. But would he be as successful as he has been with the Minnesota Vikings? Absolutely not, because he won't have Kevin O'Connell. He's one of one. He wouldn't have a Justin Jefferson. He is definitely a one-of-one type of guy. But I do think the Colts could have some success if they throw Darnold the bag. They got a good offensive line. They got some good weapons on the outside, a good run game as well. But, yeah, I mean, definitely. He would not be as successful if he would leave the Minnesota Vikings. But we are going to be getting into a full mailbag on today's show. We're going to answer your guys' questions. So if you guys have any thoughts, comments, hot takes around the Vikings game, please just put them in the live chat. But when you are typing them, put hashtag Vikings. It helps our software pull those questions, and you'll have your name, your profile picture right up on screen next to me. Or if you guys want to guarantee your spot in the mailbag, super chatting, great way to do so. So I'd really appreciate it. If you guys got a question down there, ask me anything. Just use hashtag Vikings. We'll put it up on screen. I'm actually going to post this mailbag the day of the Lions game. It will be seen by thousands and thousands of other Vikings fans. So if you guys want to get your thoughts out there, get your hot takes out there. This is the number one way to do so. Super chat, hashtag Vikings in the live chat. As Ant sending another super chat, shout out to you. But Squawk saying, do you think the Vikings can recreate this for another season? I think this is just the start of the Kevin O'Connell era in Minnesota, where I'm not saying they're going to just rip off, 14, 15 win seasons for the next 10 years, but I honestly think the floor for the Vikings with KOC, Justin Jefferson, and no matter who's in at quarterback, and especially if they get to keep Brian Flores, I think the floor every single year would be a 500 football team. And that speaks to the organization, top to bottom. It starts with the Wilfs, goes to Kwesi, but they've all been fantastic this year. You should put hashtag Vikings on that. Yeah, I would love to get that on the show. So if you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings or super chat like our man Ant did, where he's saying X Factor offensive line play. Yeah, 100%. Last week they were great. Dalton Risner had the 12th highest run block grade according to PFF last week, which was great to see. But yeah, I mean, the Lions, they're going to be blitz heavy, man. Especially with all their injuries, they're super, super aggressive on first and second down, where they are pretty much telling you, beat us over the top. Like, we're bringing the safety down. We're bringing the linebackers close to the line of scrimmage than pretty much any other team in the National Football League. And the Lions actually, over the last couple of weeks, as their injuries has started to stack up, they have been more aggressive than the Minnesota Vikings defensively, which, if you're more aggressive than Flores, that's saying something. But Gabriel saying this is our effing year. I love that mindset from you in the live chat. But shout out to EV, Arpin8, getting a question in there for the mailbag. Astro, shout out to you, Squawk, and then Toya's Monkey getting a question in there. We appreciate it. But coming up on today's show, we got some great news as Vikings fans because rookie corner for the Lions, Terrion Arnold, was talking some noise, and I think that's great news for us. And then also Vikings beat Lions if. We'll talk about that. And then, like I was saying, mailbag then today's show. So hashtag Vikings super chat. And if you guys are ready to go, hit that thumbs up icon. We got 200 people in the building. Once we get to 4 more likes, we'll dive into it. We're at 56 likes right now. Just hit that thumbs up button. Once we get 4 more, we'll dive into the great news around the Minnesota Vikings. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a ton of fun. A lot to talk about on today's live show. And already last night, I'm starting to have trouble sleeping at night. I feel like a little kid on Christmas Eve for the next 3 or 4 days. I cannot fall asleep without thinking about this football team. And it's funny, I also saw the meme. It was like the guy, he was like rolled over in his bed, and it was like his girlfriend next to him. And the girl's like, oh, he's probably thinking about other girls. And it's like the guy putting his head on the pillow saying, man, I just can't stop thinking about the Sunday night football game versus the Vikings and Lions. That is me to a T. I cannot get my mind off this game. It's going to be a ton of fun, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. SKOL TV saying Vikings collecting infinity stones of DBs who talk smack. Jalen Johnson, Keyshawn Nixon, and now Terrion Arnold. Oh, we'll talk about Keyshawn Nixon, SKOL TV, on this show coming up, as he was talking noise. I didn't even know this. He was talking noise before the Packers game last week about Sam Darnold specifically, and then Sam Darnold just had to go out there and put up a career performance. So, Ant, good question as well. We'll talk about Cam Bynum, so appreciate that one. But, hey, we're at 77 likes. Appreciate you guys. Let's just dive into it, man. A lot to talk about. Shout out to all of you guys for tuning in to today's live show. And, yeah, let's just dive into it if you guys are ready to rock. All right, let's get it. Great news coming our way as Vikings fans. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman. And coming up on today's show, I think the Minnesota Vikings got a double dose of great news because this guy right here, rookie cornerback for the Detroit Lions, Terrion Arnold, had an interesting quote about the Vikings wide receiver room. So I'll share that with you guys. And then also full injury news, Aaron Jones, he's going to be ready to play. So I'll share with you guys that information. But, speaking of Terrion Arnold, calling out the Minnesota Vikings, calling out Justin Jefferson. Let's just show the best non-quarterback in the National Football League some love. Type his jersey number. Type those 18s down below in the comment section as, still, even the best player on this football team gets disrespected. So if you guys could, show Jefferson some love. But this was the quote that Terrion Arnold had. He said, we're a bad matchup for Minnesota. We got cover guys. They got good receivers. Not great, but we got good cover guys. And, I'm not saying this is fully Terrion, calling out the Vikings wide receiver room, saying they're bad. But I'll say this, Terrion, you are barking up the wrong tree here, my friend. These are not the two right here, and I chose this photo specifically of those two dancing in the Lions end zone. But, this is the wrong tree to be barking up, especially on a week like this, considering the Lions defense over the last 4 games have been absolutely shredded, specifically in the past game, and especially of what Jefferson and Addison have done lately in the league. They have been running through some of the top secondaries in the National Football League. And specifically, Justin Jefferson, he loves to play in Detroit. I cannot believe these are his averages playing in Detroit throughout his whole NFL career. Now, yes, very limited sample size, only 4 games. But in his first game in Detroit, 133 yards. Second game, 182. Then he went for his career high of 223 yards back December 11th in 2022. And then last year, to close out the season, 12 receptions, 192 yards. And what does that equate to? 102.5 yards per game in Detroit in his career. Clearly, Jefferson feels comfortable in that building. And I'm going to call something right now. I think Jefferson's going to have a legacy game this Sunday. I don't think he has had he's had big games and big spots, like that Buffalo game where he went for 10 for 192, big game on the road. Like, he's had big moments in big games, but there is no game bigger than this one. In Detroit, season pretty much on the line. It's for the number 1 seed, the NFC North title. I think this is going to be one of the games when it's all said and done. And I'm making the argument to my kids that Justin Jefferson's the greatest wide receiver of all time. I'm going to go put on his tape of what he is going to do against the Lions secondary this Sunday. But let's just say they take away Jefferson. Let's just say they're saying, you know what? We'll double team him. We'll triple team him. We will take 18 out of this football game. Well, then you got to deal with Jordan Addison, who's gone for 62 receptions, 875 yards on season, and he's found the end zone 9 times. Then how about their good old friend, T.J. Hockenson? He's having a great year as well. 39 receptions, 446 yards. Then Speedy Nailor kind of had his breakout game against the Packers this past week. He is awesome. And I'll tell you what, people have called out the Vikings in the past. And it goes back to last week when a Green Bay Packers corner called out Sam Darnold, and even before that when Jalen Johnson pretty much called out Justin Jefferson, saying, I locked you up. And then Jefferson, the next time they played, absolutely destroyed that Bears secondary. But Keyshawn Nixon, he was asked, what challenge does Sam Darnold present to you guys? And this is what he had to say. I don't think it is a challenge. Now, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if I watched the Vikings-Packers game last week. Maybe I have no idea. But if I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure Sam Darnold had a career performance after these words. 377 yards, a career high for Sam Darnold. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He torched this secondary, and especially in a big-time game like it was last week, he got in rhythm early. He was just dinking and dunking, taking shots deep, really just giving what the defense was giving him, or taking what the defense was giving him. And he had his career best game as a Minnesota Viking and probably his best game in his entire NFL career. So, and it kind of gets me back to this. The Vikings have been doubted this whole season, and I absolutely love it. Like, new producer here, Avery. She's telling me the Vikings have no chance to win the Super Bowl, and I'm trying to get her on this bandwagon, and I've started to get producer Tex on this bandwagon. He's starting to see the vision a little bit, but I love that, and it also gets me this. I love that the Vikings are on the road this weekend because Kevin O'Connell was talking about it. He was saying this whole year we have been doubted as a team, but within the walls of the Vikings facilities, we have believed and we have kind of known what we are capable of, and now we are seeing it come to fruition week after week after week. And how perfect that they are going on the road where every single fan is going to be booing them. Once they land in Detroit Saturday night, it is going to be a hostile environment, and all that is going to matter is that team within those walls, is that team that Kevin O'Connell is going to lead out there on the football field. And I'll tell you what, this is a motivated group. This is a pissed off group, and I can't wait to see them go out there and put it on display yet again, whole world watching. Maybe then people start believing in this Minnesota Vikings team. But I'll ask you guys this. What's your best guess? Predict the score for me. Vikings versus Lions. Who you guys got? And let me know what you guys think the score is going to be. I got Vikings winning 34-20. A little bit of a bold take on that one, but hey, I just believe in this football team. Watch them all year long. They've gotten better every single week, and I think this is going to be the best performance of the year this Sunday in Detroit. But you guys let me know. Score predictions in the comments section. Now, we'll get to more around the Minnesota Vikings here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about our favorite sponsor here at Vikings Now, and that is Prize Picks. Now, if you guys download the Prize Picks app today, use that promo code CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to not 100, but 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Now, if you guys are trying to add any more juice or increase your viewing experience for a wild game, Timberwolves game, or obviously a Vikings game, Prize Picks is the #1 way to do so, and plus you can put your football knowledge to the test and try to put some cash in your back pocket. So download the app today, plug in that promo code CONS, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today, use that promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, let's dive into the injury news here. We got the Thursday injury report and a lot of injury news around some key players on the Vikings. So Kevin Seifert, beat reporter for the Vikes, works for ESPN. He tweeted this out saying Aaron Jones, who missed the end of last Sunday's game versus the Packers with a quad contusion, said he has no doubt he's playing Sunday in Detroit. Quote being, "I will be ready," and thank the Lord on that one, because Aaron Jones is so key for this offense. Especially if the Vikings are going to try to play some ball control on Sunday, keep the Lions offense out off the field. Having number 33 in the lineup will be huge. But some bad news for the Vikings on the injury front. Pat Jones, I'm going to probably assume he doesn't play, considering the Vikings were conducting a walkthrough yesterday and got relatively quick glance, and it appeared all players are on the field with the exception of linebacker edge rusher Patrick Jones. I'm going to assume Pat Jones is out, but also going to assume Aaron Jones is in. And we actually do have the Thursday injury report for you guys here. So Grugier Hill, DMP on Thursday. He's probably not going to go. Again, Patrick Jones, DMP, but it's looking like CJ Ham will be out there, which is great news. Aaron Jones was limited, but he's going to go. Fabian Morrow, veteran corner, he was limited, but he's expected to go. A bit of a shocker at the bottom there. Ed Ingram popped up as limited. I'm assuming he's still going to be able to dress. And then Josh Oliver, practice in full, and then same with Harrison Smith. But I guess some more bad news for the Vikings. Alex Anzalone, star linebacker for the Detroit Lions, has not played since week 11, since breaking his forearm, but was actually shockingly limited participant in practice today, as he has a realistic chance to play Sunday night versus the Vikings. So Lions are kind of getting healthy, at least just one player back, as they've been seriously beat up, because of the injury bug here. So, honestly, I kind of like it. Be at full force. I don't want any excuses out there on Sunday. But I was thinking about one Detroit Lion. I'm going to call this guy my favorite player in the National Football League. Kirby Joseph, number 31. This is the guy who tore T.J. Hawkinson's ACL. This is the guy who tore Tyler Higbee's ACL. And I actually just saw the clip of Matthew Stafford going up to Kirby Joseph after that hit he had on Higbee. And he was like, "Hey, great hit. Great player, but you're dirty as blank." And then Stafford just started jawing at him. I loved it. So I got a little bold prediction, but I don't think it's a hot take. I think T.J. Hawkinson's going to score his first touchdown of the season this Sunday against the Lions. I think the Vikings are going to have a play. He hasn't been too much of a focal point in the red zone offense over the last couple of weeks since he's returned from injury. But I think this Sunday we're going to see the big fella. Maybe it's like a basketball post-up move where he just runs a hitch route. He sits there on that, one number, whatever it is, and he just posts up and you throw him the football. But I think TJ, I think he's going to score his first touchdown, and, it'd make me very, very happy if he somehow scores that against number 31, Kirby Joseph. But let's show TJ some love to close out today's show. Type his jersey number. Type those 87s down below, as I'm sure, everybody in that Vikings locker room is amped up for the situation. This spot they're in right now, but I am betting it that TJ Hawkinson is probably the most excited to go clinch an NFC North title, go clinch the NFC in the team that traded you away is building. So show TJ some love. Type those 87s. Also, I'm on Twitter. At Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle. If you guys want to give me a follow over there for more around the Minnesota Vikings, please do so, and I'll give you guys a follow back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes. Alrighty. 1 down, 2 to go. Awesome. But again, if you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings or Super Chat is the best way to get up on the show. Shout out to Ant, already coming in with a couple of Super Chats today. We appreciate you. James saying 87, 2 touchdowns. That'll be awesome. Max Cardozo saying, "Pat, do you think Sam Darnold can win the MVP this year?" We're actually going to talk about that on our next segment. But Ant coming in. Ant saying Rams fans are already calling for the Vikings. Oh, I'm sure, because the Rams aren't playing starters this week. So they're most likely going to be in that 4 spot, assuming they lose. Let me actually double check who the Rams are. Oh, no, they're playing Seattle. So I'm assuming Seattle's going to take care of business, beat the Rams backups, and then probably going to assume that the Rams fall to the 4 spot with Tampa Bay winning. So pretty much, if you want to look too early here, Vikings win, they get a bye. Vikings lose, we're traveling to Los Angeles, which is a very, very tough spot. But, we'll see. Alex saying, did you hear the Vikings are going to listen to trade talks regarding J.J. McCarthy this offseason? Yes, I did. I did a video on that early on today. Just I'm in the camp. No need to trade J.J. I just don't think that's a smart option for the Vikes. Even if you do extend Sam Darnold, I just don't think that's the, right move. I think you keep him on the roster. It doesn't hurt to have a really, really high-quality backup because injuries happen all the time. It's a physical sport. It's a physical game. And, possibly having J.J. McCarthy, if anything were to happen to Sam Darnold, would obviously be huge for him to step in and, take those starting spots. But Patrick Nelson getting another question in there. We appreciate it. Same with M. Mac. Yeah, you got it. Michael saying, how many INTs for Minnesota? I'm going to just go 1 this weekend. And if I had to call who gets the interception, maybe it's a little wishful thinking here, but I would love a Harrison Smith pick. The veteran, the 16-year guy. Maybe he has the game-sealing interception to get the Vikings the 1 seed. And, if I had the power rank, let me ask you guys this. Who do you want on the Vikings team to get the ring the most? Let's just say this is the Super Bowl year. Who would you be most happy for? For me, it would be Harrison Smith. 16-year guy. He's spent his whole career at the Minnesota Vikings. He's just a class act as well. So, yeah, I'll probably go Harrison Smith. Another guy, Kevin O'Connell would be up there, obviously. I guess that, they moved off Daniil. There's no real guys from the Zimmer era. Jefferson, I would be thrilled for. SB Abel saying me. I would be most happy for me. Yeah, I would be happy for me, too, if the Vikes win. I think it is hands down Taserface saying Harrison Smith. EV going Brian Flores. DOD's going me. That's funny stuff, guys. CJ Ham, that's a good one. Adam Johnson, shout out to you for that. Awesome. Thank you. Brown Man saying, or Sam to prove the doubters wrong. Yeah, that's a good one, too. But if I had to pick a guy, it'd probably be Harrison Smith. For me personally, he's been awesome, man. Do we release Gilmore after the season? He's a free agent, so Vikings got to make a decision on him. Patrick Nelson, good question, saying, will we re-sign Byron Murphy next season? I hope so. Michael saying, free 3. Shout out to you, Mike. And then Kellen saying, do you think Jordan Addison will have a big game? It depends on how they play it. If they leave Jefferson one-on-one, I think Jefferson's going to kill him. But, again, if you roll the coverage his way, I think, Jordan Addison, just what he's done throughout the year. And also Kevin O'Connell will have a couple Addison plays in there, as we know. So, it should be a good game, man. I'm excited. Max Cardoza saying, yeah, Kyrie Jackson, we are winning it all for him. Still, it still shook me to my core when that happened this offseason. Just a terrible situation. But, it's so cool. Vikings are still wearing that patch. They're still supporting them. They're still honoring them on a daily basis. So, rest in peace, Kyrie. But, definitely a sad situation there. But Mark saying Hawkinson revenge game. Nicky J. Ward, unless we were building a retirement home, you let go of Gilly. Yeah, I think Gilmore is probably – honestly, I could see Gilmore retiring after the season. That would not shock me at all. Super chat coming in from Ant. How you doing? Saying the Wilfs for being great owners. Yeah, also a good point. I'll be very, very happy for the Wilfs. Talk about an ownership group that is just not afraid to pour money into, their biggest business they have. And I'm pretty sure the Wilfs, they bought that was the MLS team in Orlando as well. So clearly they're active. Clearly they love sports. And I would be thrilled for them to get a ring. They have done just about everything you would want from an ownership group. But, 100%. Shout out to the Wolves on that one. SKOL TV saying if he wins a chip, he probably retires. Yeah, I think Gilmore and Harrison Smith both probably hang it up if the Vikings win this season. Which, what? I'll tell you what. I want Harrison Smith to retire coming off a Super Bowl win. I think that would be perfect for him. He is truly, guys, you go compare his stats to Troy Polamalu, and Polamalu is a better safety than Harrison Smith. That's not the argument I'm trying to make, but his numbers are better, and I think he is one of the most underrated safeties possibly ever in this game. And again, it all gets back to nobody talking about the Minnesota Vikings, but that's how we like it here. That's how we like it. Denham saying win it for Bud Grant. Yeah, that also as well. Bram saying, has there ever been a bigger regular season game in NFL history? I have not found one. I've been trying to go back and look. There just hasn't been a situation where there is a regular season game with this much on the line. And I said this on my video earlier. I think this game is bigger than some playoff games. Like, obviously, playoffs is different. It's win or go home. You lose, you're obviously, starting your offseason. But if you had to power rank it, like Super Bowl #1, conference championship game #2, I would probably put this game even over some divisional round matchups in the playoffs, just for how big and how much is at stake here. Because if the Vikings win, they probably have the second best odds to win the Super Bowl. If they lose, they probably drop to 7. Lions win, I guarantee Vegas will put them at #1 or #2, and they probably drop to like 5 or 6. So, massive game, one of the biggest games ever as a Vikings fan. And, coming up right here, I'll be telling you guys why the Vikings will beat the Lions, and I think they'll beat them handily. But if you guys are ready to go, so we just dive into it. Let's get after it. Why the Minnesota Vikings will beat the Detroit Lions this Sunday. That's what's coming up for you guys on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. What's going on? My name is Patrick Siepman, and first off here, I want to get my score prediction out there for, if there's Lions fans watching this video. If you guys want to clip this, put me on freezing cold takes after this. I would love for you guys to do so, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I got the Vikings winning 34-20. I think it's going to be a bigger of a blowout than anybody is expecting. I think the Vikings are going to handle business this Sunday. But we'll get to my 5 reasons here in a second. But first off, we are in a sub battle with our Lions Talk channel here at Chat Sports. Micro Mike does great work over there. Honestly, one of the best people I work with. But hey, we are down a whole lot of subscribers in this sub battle, and my goal is to hit 50K before kickoff. It is a lofty goal, but if you guys haven't already, help me out, help us out here at Chat Sports, and hit that subscribe button. Maybe, oh maybe, we could hit 50K by kickoff this Sunday. All right, let's dive into it. Vikings beat Lions if KOC is aggressive. Now, just think about this game and think about everything that's on the line. I want Kevin O'Connell to go Dan Campbell mode this Sunday. I want him to embrace the coach that he is going to be squaring off against on the other side of the field. So what do I mean by that? If you are in Lions territory and it is 4th and 5 and it's 4th and 6, I want the Vikings to be ultra aggressive. I don't want you to put this game in the hands of your field goal kicker, or I guess in the leg of the field goal kicker. I want this game on Sam Darnold's right arm and Justin Jefferson's 2 hands and Jordan Addison's 2 hands. I want those guys to be the reason you win or lose this game, because you're going to have to keep pace with the Lions offense that is frankly the best unit in all of sports right now. Like, if you had to power rank every single team's offense, defense, the Lions offense would be #1. This is a wagon. They're the league's #1 scoring offense, putting up 33.3 points per game. Really let that sink in. 33.3 points per game is their average on the season. That's why it's #1. But they're great on third down. They're great in the run game. They're great in the pass game. They're just a great offense overall. And also the Lions defensively, with all the injuries they have, they are going to be ultra aggressive. They're going to be selling out on the run, on 1st and 2nd downs. They're going to try to get you in 3rd and long. So I'm telling Kevin O'Connell, you be aggressive. You set up the deep play action shots to guys like Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, and take advantage of what this Lions defense is going to present to you this Sunday. Now, obviously it can change, but just seeing the way they played over the past couple of weeks, they're ultra aggressive, and I think that kind of helps out the Vikings here. Because how do you beat a very aggressive defense? You be aggressive yourself. And what a better group of receivers to be aggressive throwing the ball to than these 4 guys right here. Jefferson, Addison, Hockenson, Jalen Nailor. Pick your poison with these guys, and they will kill you in this game. So #1 for me, KOC is aggressive. And this kind of gets into it. Jefferson statement game. The whole debate, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, who's the better wide receiver? And I think the best argument, like if I was a Jamar Chase guy, it would be, hey, Justin Jefferson, you don't have a big-time game in the playoffs. Jamar Chase has gone to Kansas City, put 100 yards on their head. He's gone for multiple touchdowns in big-time playoff games. But people forget, Justin Jefferson's a big-time player, and it goes back to the college football semifinal, the year him, Joe Burrow, and Chase actually got a ring. What did Jefferson do? Possibly put up the best receiving performance of all time in a college football bowl game. 14 receptions, 227 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was fantastic in this game. And Also, Jamar Chase was on this team as well, but Joe Burrow chose to throw the ball to number 2 a whole lot more on that one. And, also Jefferson's killed Detroit. He's averaging, this is correct, he's averaging 182.5 yards per game when he's played in Detroit against the Lions throughout his short NFL career. He is truly the most comfortable in this building. And I think Jefferson, I'll say this. How about this? When I'm talking to my kids in 15 years, and I'm making the argument to them, Justin Jefferson's the GOAT, I'm going to talk about this game specifically. I think this is going to be a legacy game where I'm going to throw on the highlights for probably the 10th time that day. I'm going to say, hey, you see what Jefferson did? The number 1 seed was on the line. The NFC North title was on the line. And that's what number 18 went out there and did. So I think a statement game could be coming for Justin Jefferson this Sunday. And, it gets me to 3 here. Sam Darnold has his MVP performance. Because this whole year, it started off, first 5 games, Darnold's playing well. We're all still a little skeptical. Could pumpkin mode come where everybody was saying Darnold could implode? But he's had great games, but he hasn't had his MVP statement game where it's like, hey, give me this reward. I'm the most valuable player in the entire league. And you just think about it. 14-2 record, number 2. Pass yards per game, that's 5th in the league. Yards per pass, 4th. Passing touchdowns, 4th. And passer rating, he's at 5th in the entire league. Like, there is no real reason why Sam Darnold shouldn't be higher up there on MVP ballots, because the guys he's competing against, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, if you guys just look at the numbers on screen here, you can make a serious case that Sam Darnold should have been in this conversation weeks ago. Now, yes, this doesn't include the rushing touchdowns and the rush yards with these guys, but in terms of just a thrower of the football, which has kind of been where this MVP award has gone in the past years, I just don't get why Darnold is not higher up there in these conversations. And, I think a lot of this has to do with NFL media. They start the MVP conversation way too early because these games later on in the year, they just mean a whole lot more. I mean, no quarterback, whether it's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, they haven't played in a game that is as important than the one Sam Darnold's going to play in this upcoming Sunday. So I think they should push back kind of the MVP conversation, let the whole season finish, because I think people already chalked it up as like, hey, it's a 2-man race. It's just Josh Allen. It's just Lamar Jackson, and pretty much it cuts off everybody else. But Sam Darnold over the last 2 weeks, he has had his MVP moments, and I think he's going to have his MVP performance this Sunday in Detroit. So let's show him some love. Type his jersey number down below. Give me those 14s in the comments section. He's a guy, he's been he's just been ridiculed throughout his NFL career. Nobody believes in him, and it's awesome that he's finally finding his footing. He stuck to the process. He believed in himself, and truly it's inspirational what he's doing. So type those jersey numbers, type those 14s down below. Now, number 4 for me, I'm going to go timely defensive plays here. Now, I wanted to put up Vikings defense dominates the Lions offense, but listen, they're just too good of a unit to do that. But the Lions offense, they're going to be able to move the ball at a high level. They have a great offensive line. When you have a great offensive line, it kind of sets your floor of an offensive production week to week very, very high. Plus, you got guys like Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta. You got the weapons. You got Jared Goff playing at an MVP level as well. But the Lions, listen, they'll be able to move the ball, but I think the Vikings defense is set up to make some key plays in this one. And, I talk about having a Super Bowl defense. And I think to have one, number 1, you got to stop the run. Vikings are 2nd. Then you also got to get to the quarterback. Well, they're 3rd in the league in sacks. Interceptions, they're number 1 in the league at 22. Points per game, top 5 scoring defense. You also got to be big on key plays, which are third downs. And what are they? They're top 5 as well in this. So I think the Vikings defense, I'm not saying they're going to shut out the Lions offense or they're going to have a truly dominant performance, but I think it will be in key spots. They will take advantage and they will get it done. And there are 2 guys on this Lions offense specifically who the Vikings just need to take away because they have killed them in the past. And it's these 2 guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. First off, Jahmyr Gibbs, fantastic player. Top 3 running back in the NFL. I think he's the best running back. People look at me crazy when I say that, but I truly believe he is that special out there on the football field. But then also Amon-Ra. I mean, back in week 7, he was the catalyst to this offense. He was Goff's safety blanket. He was the go-to guy, and he put up 112 yards, 8 receptions, 14 yards per catch, and he also found the end zone on that broken coverage that the Vikings had. But also Jahmyr Gibbs, he's had success against the Vikes. back in week 7. He went for 116 yards and just 15 carries, had that absolute nasty, Barry Sanders-esque juke move he put on Cam Bynum where he made him look silly in the open field. This guy's electric with the football in his hands. And, if I had to kind of put all eyes on 2 guys, it is these 2. Like, they have been Vikings killers. They are comfortable going up against Brian Flores and this defense. So you got to take these 2 away, and you're not going to be able to shut out this Lions offense. But I think the Vikings defense, whether that's a key 4th down, because we know Campbell's going to be super aggressive, I think they'll be able to take advantage, win some big plays in some big-time spots this Sunday like they have done the entire season. But let's end today's show off with this. I want to have the biggest SKOL chant ever in the comments section. If you guys want the Minnesota Vikings to beat the Detroit Lions, just give me a SKOL down below in the comment section. Make it look like US Bank Stadium on game day. And also, I'm on Twitter. @PatSieps is a Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. It's been unbelievable as of late. But hey, hit me up on Twitter, @PatSieps. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes. Alrighty. Just got the mailbag left. Very ideal. Shout out to Notre Dame, up 13-3 on Georgia, man. No. Well, I looked up and it was 13-3. I was like, love that. Who are you guys rooting for in the live chat? College football playoff? Do you guys have some skin in the race here? I don't know if it's just because you guys know Tex very well. Tex is a Texas fan, and I've been riding with the Longhorns all year. Obviously, I was a Michigan guy because of JJ last season. But I think this year I'm going with Texas. I love what they have over there in Austin, and a very fun football team to watch. So I am rooting for Texas and rooting for Notre Dame in this one. Omni God saying SKOL. Shout out to you. Check the Lobster saying game of the year. Alex saying Ohio State. Quick thing here. Jeremiah Smith might be the best receiver prospect I've ever seen. Texas said he might be the best player in college football. This kid looks like A.J. Brown at 18 years old. 6'3", 225 pounds, very physical guy, very physical player. And he's a stud, man. He is an absolute stud. But with Zazie giving a horns up, EV saying, are you going to stream the Bulls game on Saturday? Unfortunately, I am not. But shout out to Derrick Rose. He's getting put in the rafters. No, it's just a tribute game for D Rose. I don't think they're putting him in the rafters. But, shout out to D Rose, man. Favorite player of all time. We're good? Sweet. Yeah, but if you guys want to, last call here. Get a question in there. We're going to dive into a full mailbag. No topic conversation that I want to specifically go to on this. So mailbag, #Vikings, super chat, get up on today's show, and let me know your guys' thoughts. Chilled saying best receiver in college football, and he's only 18. Yeah, 100%, dude. He is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Daniel saying I want Scatabo on the is it Boo or Bo? Scatabo. Yeah, Scatabo. I want him on the Vikes too, man. That dude's awesome. He is a dude. Yeah, I'm sure, man. No, he's a stud, dude. It was like crazy. He had, I think he was their leading receiver. Obviously, he was their leading rusher, and the second leading receiver was the guy who he threw the bomb to on that one deep post. So, that was a nice throw. What's the Adam Sandler movie? Longest Yard. That's how a white man runs the football. That is the best clip, and that's Cam pretty much in a nutshell on that. He is awesome. I would love him on the Vikes. He would add a physicality to this team. Yeah, I'd be all in on it. But let's dive into this mailbag here. Again, last call, #Vikings or super chat to get up on today's show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports, and the day is finally here. Vikings Lions kickoff is in only a couple of hours. So first off, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're going to be going live about an hour and a half before kickoff, so don't miss that. But on today's show, we're just going to answer your guys' questions before the Lions game. And speaking about the Lions game, if you guys want the Vikings to get a big-time victory and lock up that number 1 seed and win the NFC North title, just hit that thumbs up icon, like today's show. I'm going to put the goal on this as 1,500 likes. Let's see if you guys can get there, but if you guys could, that'd be sweet. Hey, if you guys want the Vikes to beat the Lions, hit that thumbs up button. But Clean 18 Prods coming in saying, hashtag Vikings. Sam Darnold can't force the ball to coverage. Do you agree? Absolutely not. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think Sam Darnold's been the best quarterback in terms of putting the ball in tight windows this entire season. Like, he's got so much zip on the football where even if a window, from our bird's eye view watching on TV, like, it looks so tight of a window, but Sam Darnold just zips it in there. I think that's really what he excels in. And Sam Darnold's just been amazing. But shout out to you, Clean 18. And then Astro coming in saying, hashtag Vikings. Do you think we would draft a running back if we don't re-sign Aaron Jones? 110%. And I actually think that's what the Vikings should do. I love Aaron Jones. He's been awesome. He actually came out today and said he would want to retire a Minnesota Vikings. So, suck it, Packers fans. I'm sure that feels great to have your star running back who's played there for 10 seasons say he wants to retire with your division rival. But yeah, I mean, if I were the Vikes, I would let Jones walk. He's 30 years old. A lot of tread on those tires. I would have loved to go draft a running back. And this year's class is one of the best I've ever seen. There's studs that you could get at every single round. And, maybe Genty kind of getting locked up by Penn State this past week. Maybe he ends up falling in the draft. Maybe the Vikings then end up trading up to pick 20 or something for him. But whether it's Genty or even a couple of the guys on Penn State, they're very physical backs as well. But I want the Vikings to get a physical running back, and there are a ton of options in this year's draft class. But Jake, that guitar player, what's going on? $5 super chat. Appreciate you saying Vikings. My question is, who are your 3 favorite offensive players and 3 favorite defensive players of this season? Jake, another great question, man. I love this. Okay, so 3 favorite offensive players. I would obviously probably have to go Sam Darnold as one of them. He's got one of the coolest stories in the league. But if I'm not going to go the quarterback, I'll exclude Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold for this. I'll go Brian O'Neill, right tackle, underrated, doesn't get talked about enough. Number 2 for me, I'll go Jordan Addison. I think everything he overcame in this offseason, getting that situation handled in Los Angeles this past summer, and just his performance on the football field has been awesome. And then number 3 for me, I'll go CJ Ham. Had that big play against the Packers on that play action, and CJ is just the definition of stay ready so you don't got to get ready. But so besides Darnold and Jefferson, I'll go Brian O'Neill, CJ Ham, and Jordan Addison. And then defensively, I got to go Van Ginkel. I got to go Ivan Pace. And then you got to give it up to the guy with the best sellies in the league, Cameron Bynum. But Jake, great question there. Patrick Nelson, great name, my friend, saying, hashtag Vikings, do you think Will Reichert is fine? Yes, I do. I say that, yeah, very unsure. I hope so. I really do, man. I have a feeling he is going to have to make a big-time kick, whether that's at the end of the half or end of the game this week. I saw a very funny meme out there. It was like a Riker jersey and a Ouija board, and it was like, I'm going to make everything right this weekend. So I think he's fine. I'm not going to overreact to a couple of missed kicks over the last couple of weeks, but then again, with this history of this franchise, yeah, kickers scare the hell out of me. But I'm gonna be optimistic here. I'm gonna say absolutely he is 110% fine, Patrick Nelson. Vikings fan coming in, saying if we do get Travis Hunter, do you think he would be wide receiver 1, 2, or 3? Number 3. He wouldn't come in and take reps away from Addison or obviously Jefferson. But I actually do think Travis Hunter, if I am his agent and I am in his camp, I am probably viewing the Vikings as an ideal landing spot because, 1, you would be our lockdown corner. You would play every snap defensively, but then when when the Vikings are on offense, you can just plug him into wide receiver 3. He would be a great complementary piece to Addison and Jefferson. So I would love Travis Hunter on the Vikes. Going to be very unlikely unless they do trade J.J. McCarthy for a top 5 pick in the draft. But hey, that'd be pretty cool. But you guys let me know. Who's your favorite player on the Vikings team? Hey, shout out to Jake, that guitar player. I didn't even know I was asking this when you asked me that. But you guys let me know. On this team specifically, the 2024-25 Vikings, who is your favorite player? I'll put a caveat on this. Can't say Justin Jefferson. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Now we'll get to more questions here in a sec. But first off, got to tell you guys about my favorite sponsor here, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today, plug in that promo code CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Now, if you guys are trying to add any more juice or just increase your viewing experience for a Vikings, Timberwolves, or Wild game, Prize Picks is the #1 way to do so. Even if a game's a blowout, you guys can follow your Prize Picks lineup throughout the entire event. So download the app today, plug in that promo code CONS. You guys will get hooked up with $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. So download the Prize Picks app today, plug in that promo code CONS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A big shout out to them for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks. Run your game. Bram Olsen, what's going on? #Vikings. Do you think there's a special chemistry throughout the team that we haven't seen/felt for a quite while? 100%. So I'm a big vibes guy when it comes to sports. Obviously, I think on the field play that matters. 99% of of the whole picture here. But also, I think there is a difference between going into work every single day around the people you love. Like, when I got producer Tex, for example, when he's on the board with me and he's producing my shows for the day, I'm fired up to come into work. I'm excited to get here. And I'm sure that same feeling is within that locker room where guys like Jefferson, Darnold, like this is their family throughout the football season. They're at the facility for 10+ hours a day. And when you love the people you work with, you love the guys that you are going to battle with every single Sunday, you're probably fired up. Even Kevin O'Connell talked about it. He said, I can't wait to get back to work. I can't wait to, go and improve this football team, and it's because of the love that these guys have for each other. So, Bram, 110%. Mike Freeman, what's going on? So, do you think the Vikings have been holding back and ready to explode and truly show their full capabilities in the playoffs? I'm going to go yes on this. Listen, I think this offense has taken a step up over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, their production has been better. But I don't know if it's correct to say they've been holding back. I just think it's more of them getting more familiar with each other. And we've seen the process on full display where clearly they are ready day in, day out to focus on just getting better that day. And when you have that mindset, it can result in some great production at the end of the season. So, Mike, I'm with you on that. I think not only during the playoffs, but I think this Sunday in Detroit, it will be the best offensive performance we have seen. It will be the best offensive performance we have seen in Vikings franchise history. That's what's coming to Detroit this weekend. But Jacob coming in saying #Vikings Down by Chat Sports. Pat, what do you think on how we stop Gibbs? Great question. I guess the simple answer is, you got to load the box up, put 8 guys down there, really sell out on the run. I think with Gibbs, though, you got to tackle an open field. This guy will make you look silly. This guy reminds me of Barry Sanders. So guys like Pace, Cashman, and even like the safeties coming down, Cam Bynum, Metellus, Harrison Smith, when you get those chances, you take advantage because he can turn a 5-yard run into a 50-yard run just like that. So I think obviously stack the box. That's kind of the basic answer, but tackling in the open field. I'm sure the Vikings are doing a ton of tackling drills this Sunday or throughout the week preparing for this game. So, don't have a good answer for you, but hey, tackle in the open field. That's all I got. EV saying #Vikings. If the Vikings win the Super Bowl, what do you do right when it ends? Oh, I love this. Probably cry. I don't know. I don't I don't have a good answer there. I haven't thought about that yet. Probably cry. Like, I'm serious. Like, maybe I'm not like bursting out into tears, but I'll be emotional about this team because I think this team is very relatable to people. These are all guys who have, are on their second or third stints with teams. A guy like Darnold, this is his 4th team, and he's finally breaking out. And just, from top to bottom, it's just a bunch of good dudes in the Vikings organization. It's just a bunch of, really good men on all 3 phases or all 3 levels of this organization. So, Vikings win the Super Bowl. What would I do right after? I think I just go back and I just I just sit back, kick my feet up, and I'm just like, the world is perfect. The Vikings won the Super Bowl, and I'll just be sitting there with the biggest smile on my face. But, EV, I appreciate you. Patrick, another great question and a great name. Saying KOC is better than Dan Campbell, 100%. But that's also, like, they're just different styles of head coach. I don't necessarily love comparing them. You know, I'll take the KOC, who's the offensive play caller. You know, he's in full command of that unit, where, you know, Dan Campbell's like that CEO head coach where it's like he's got his team ready to run through a freaking brick wall every single time. Like, I think Campbell is a great culture setter. Honestly, the best culture setter in the league. Maybe Kevin O'Connell gets that nod as well. But, you know, I think they're 2 of the top 5 coaches in the league. I think the NFC North has 3 of the top 5 coaches in the league. And if I had to name them, probably Reed, McVay, then I think it's the 3 guys in the NFC North. Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur. And listen, I hate the Lions. I can't stand them, but I got a whole lot of respect for what Dan Campbell has built there. So, Patrick, I appreciate you. Last question coming in from EV saying, how would you feel if the Vikings trade up for Ashton Jeanty? Love it. I would absolutely love it. And honestly, I'm happy that he, you know, you guys want to know the worst take that's being thrown out there right now is that Ashton Jeanty got exposed by Penn State. They put 9 guys in the box on almost every single run. They were selling out on him, and he was still able to be somewhat productive. I'd say I think it was great news for the Vikings that he could potentially fall in the draft. But if he falls at 20 or something, you know, the Vikes do have very limited draft capital. But, hey, I'll take advantage. I'll take a chance on him. I think he's a stud. But I do want to say thank you guys so much for watching. You're watching this video probably a couple of hours before kickoff, and I am already getting nervous. So if you guys made it to the end, give me those skulls down below. And also, I'm on Twitter, @PatSieps is the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there, and I'll give you guys a follow right back. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes. Alrighty. Oh, Notre Dame. No shit. Let's go. And now that's going to be their Achilles heel right here. Yes. 100%. Max Cardoza saying, #Vikings, are we going to re-sign Byron Murphy? Yeah, I hope they do. I think Murphy's deserved a contract extension. Darren Wolfson also put out a report today that apparently interest is mutual between the two. So clearly Murphy wants to be here. Clearly the Vikings want to bring him back, and I'm sure that's one of the first deals they get done once free agency hits, considering the Vikings don't have a starting cornerback for next season. So Ohio State saying Lions will win as a Bengals fan. Ohio State, I take back everything I just said about your guy Jeremiah Smith. I was just showing Ohio State all types of love here on the show. But we are a Go Blue family at Vikings now because of our guy J.J. McCarthy. But, man, I'll tell you what, Jeremiah Smith, dude's a dog. He's an 18-year-old A.J. Brown, dude. He is and Max saying, I assume Calais Campbell can't happen yet. Calais is going to be on the Dolphins for the rest of the season. Cameron saying, is J.J. going to get traded? I hope not, and I doubt it. That'll be my answer on that one. But I do just want to say thank you guys so much. Last live show before the game of the year. And, you know, support on the channel throughout the season's been awesome. We only got 135 people in here right now, but I know all of you guys are real ones. You guys support the show very, very well. And I am blessed with the fan base that this team has. And I'm just blessed to be able to chop it up about this special football team we have here every single day. And you guys are a big reason why I'm excited to go to work every day. So really, thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. But we're going to get on out of here. See you guys Sunday. As always, Skol Vikes.